In this video, I'm going to review the examples that you were asked to do from this lesson in which you added numbers of different bases.
So as we do base and addition here, which means we're adding numbers with different bases, what's going to be demonstrated here is trying to keep them in the base they're currently in. You always do have the option of converting the numbers into base 10 numbers, carrying through whatever operation it is they ask you to do, and then converting them back to whatever base you started in this case base 8. There are some instances where that might be a faster way of dealing with it, especially if the numbers start getting to be more complicated, especially if you start getting into multiplication and division, where there's multiple things that are going on with that. So by all means, if that's an option, use it. But one of the issues that sometimes students have with that is in keeping organized as well. For addition and subtraction, it's not too bad. You just have to remember that, in the base 8 system, you have to remember that this is my 1's position, this is my 8's position, this is my 8 squared position, or 64's position, which is kind of different than our, 1's, 10's, 100's, So, now I know if I add two base 8 numbers together, I'm going to get a base 8 number, so I'm just going to tack that down there. And I'm going to start with the first two. I'm going to do 7 plus 4. Now 7 plus 4 is 11 in base 10. In base 8, it's going to be 1/8 plus 3 left over, so it's going to be 13, or in base 8. And so I would write the 3 down here and carry the 1 up here. So now I have 1 plus 2 plus 6. And so I do 1 plus 2 plus 6, I get 9, base 10. 9 in a base 10 number is going to be the same thing as 11 in base 8. So I'm going to write the 1, carry the 1. And I'm going to do 1 plus 7 plus 5. I get 13 in base 10. Now again, in base 8, I'm going to have 1 full 8 plus 5 left over, so it's going to be a 15 base 8. And so I would write the 15 down here, and that would be my solution. For the next one, now I'm adding these two numbers in the binary system, where base 2, so that the answer is going to be base 2. The first two are pretty easy. 0 and 0 is still going to be 0 base 2, so I don't really have to do a whole lot of work with that. Now where it comes to play a different role, I go to the next group. 1 and 1 normally is 2, but that's 2 in the base 10 system. In a binary system, that's 10. So I'm going to write the 0, I'm going to carry the 1. And so now I move over to the next one. 1 plus 1 plus 0 gives me another 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, so, and 2 base 10 is still 10, so write the 0, carry the 1. And here I have 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3 base 10, and that would equate to an 11 base 2, so I would write the 11. So 1, 1, 0, 0, 0 in base 2 is what this would be. For the next one, 254 base 6 plus 15 base 6. So again, I'm just going to start with, the fact that I'm going to have a base 6 number when I'm done. 4 plus 5 is what I'm going to add together first. That gives me a 9 that's base 10. In base 6, that's going to be 1, 6 plus 3 left over, so it's going to be 13 in base 6. So I'm going to write the 3, carry the 1. Now in the next column, I have 1 plus 5 plus 1, which comes to 7 in base 10. In base 6, it's going to give me 1 full 6 plus 1 left over in the 1's column, so that's going to be 11 in base 6. So I'm going to write the 1 and carry the 1. And 1 plus 2 is 3 in base 10, but it's also going to, but 3 in base 10 is the same thing as 3 in base 6 too. So no issues there. So the answer becomes 313 in base 6. When I start getting to stuff like base 12, again, I have to remember that these letters will represent numbers along with this here. So I am going to have a base 12 number when I'm done with this. And I'm going to add the first two together, 3 and A. 3 plus A is the same thing as 3 plus 10, because A in any system that's 11, 12, 13, so forth is going to represent the value of 10, but it's going to be a digit that has a value of 10. And so that's going to be 13 in base 10. In base 12, that's going to be 1 12 plus 1 left over, so that's going to be an 11 in base 12. So I'm going to write the 1, carry the 1. Now I'm going to move to the next column. 1 plus 9 plus 6 gives me 16 base 10. In base 12, I'm going to have 1 full 12 plus 4 left over, so it's going to be 14 base 12. And so I'm going to write the 4, carry the 1. Moving over to the next column, I'm going to have 1 plus 2 plus 8, which gives me 11 base 10. And but in base 12, it's going to be B. Now 11 is a number that would be represented in base 12, but it's represented as a digit, and it corresponds to the letter B. So I would put a B here. No need to carry a 1. B plus 4 in the last column is the same thing as 11 plus 4, which is 15, base 10. And 15 in base 10 is 1 full 12 plus 3 left over. It's going to be a 13 in base 12, so I would write the entire 13. And so the answer becomes 13B41 base 12. And the last one you were asked to do, it's the same two numbers, essentially, as far as digits go, but now it's base 16. So when I add them together, I'm going to get an answer in base 16. So I start with 3 plus A. 3 plus A is 13 in base 10. Now 13, there is a digit that has a value of 13 in base 16 math. And that corresponds to the letter D. So I'm going to write a D down here. No need to carry a 1 because in base 16 math, D is a digit. It's a single digit. It just has a value of 16 or 13 in a base 16 or base 10 system. I then move to the next column. 9 plus 6. 9 plus 6 is 15 in a base 10 system. But 15 is still less than the base. So 15, there's actually a digit that has a value of 15 in a base 10 system, and that corresponds to F. So I'm going to write an F here. And again, no need to write any kind of carrying of a 1. So I move to the next column, 2 plus 8. 2 plus 8 is 10 in base 10 numbers. 10 is actually a digit in base 16. It actually corresponds to A. And so I'm going to write the A here. Again, since this is considered a single digit in base 16, there's no 1 to carry. So B plus 4. It's going to be 11 plus 4, which is 15, base 10, which we've already come up here and had the same situation come up. I'm going to have, again, F in base 16. So this number, this sum, would be FAFD 16.
And that is the end of this video. If you have any further questions, please make sure to reach out and ask me about it. Until next time, have a good day.